Ever since the reveal of the Nintendo Switch, there's been an awful lot of discussion and, of course, criticism surrounding the console, and there's been numerous arguments made that Nintendo should just stop with the whole console thing, basically become a software developer, go third party, basically. Now, I don't think this will ever happen, at least not at any time in the foreseeable future, but of course there are numerous strong arguments to be made as to why Nintendo should do this. And Reggie Fils-Aime, of course, is the head of Nintendo of America, appeared once again on the Game Theorist YouTube channel. Now, their full video will be linked below. I highly recommend you watch it. It's very well put together. I have to say, good job from one editor to another. And Reggie Fils-Aime touched on this particular topic of why Nintendo needs to keep making consoles. Now, at first he decided to start by talking about the innovation that Nintendo brings to the gaming industry and how innovation is a key part of the gaming culture. This is very much true. Now, of course, your mind immediately is going to the Wii, which introduced, motion controls, accelerometer, and all sorts of other features which, needed some refinement, as we saw, with the Wii Motion Plus thing and so on and so forth, but it still brought motion control into the limelight and, of course, introduced many new gamers into the community that perhaps wouldn't have done previously. However, this was undoubtedly a risk. Of course, it paid off, and other risks from Nintendo haven't paid off as well, like with the Wii U, but for the Wii, it definitely did pay off. However, he was also keen to point out that this isn't the only innovation that Nintendo has brought to the table. He said, quote, "In fact, a lot of elements considered standard today for the way you play or control games today were either invented or made mainstream by Nintendo. The D-pad, start, select, saving, portable gaming, shoulder buttons, rumble, thumbsticks, wireless controllers, touchscreen gaming, motion control, 3D gaming, augmented reality, and asymmetrical gaming. Even endeavours that some consider non-starters like the Virtual Boy were pursuing concepts decades ahead of their time. Without taking risks, the gaming industry would stagnate and innovation would stay at what's the best graphics card we can put into this, instead of how can we create a more unique gaming experience. Our goal is to change how the world thinks of console gaming, and we'll be doing it again with Nintendo Switch. When Nintendo creates a gaming console, we're not just thinking about the next generation of an easily used gaming computer. We are rethinking the way we play games. That's what differentiates us from the rest of the market, and no matter what platform we are talking. Take Nintendo Switch. It combines the power of a home console with the mobility of a handheld. We're introducing the world to new ways to play, made possible by the unique characteristics of the Nintendo Switch hardware and the Joy-Cons. Now, I'm not going to say I disagree with anything Reggie said there, to be honest. He's absolutely right that innovation is an absolute must. This is why I keep saying, slightly off topic, but related, stick with me, in the whole PS4 versus Xbox One thing, that it's not really good to have one console trouncing the other in terms of sales, because that basically means that the person who is winning is not motivated to innovate, not motivated for change, because, well, why should they? They're winning. And then basically, competition breeds innovation. If you're behind the times or just head to head with your opponent, you're thinking, how can we outsmart them? What can we do different to them? How can we make our console, whatever it is, product better than theirs with this weird feature or this cool thing? You get what I'm saying. If you're winning, you're going to sit back and go, yeah, I'm good. I don't really need to put any effort in because I'm already winning, if you get my point. And this doesn't apply to consoles, of course. This is the case, pretty much anywhere. But I think it's especially relevant to gaming. We are kind of prone to ruts and trends, and that's fine. Things have their day in the sun where a lot of that type of game is being made, and then eventually it will go out of fashion, and we'll have the next thing. But certain series, of course, are kind of always going to be stuck in their little train. And they're always going to be stuck on that train until they're given a reason to not be on that train. And that's basically what Reggie is saying here, is like, if Nintendo didn't take these chances, didn't bring things out that are a bit weird, like the Wii, and, even though it failed, like the Wii U, then, there would just be a case of, this box is more powerful than this box. No, this box is more powerful than this box. So he's not wrong, to be honest. And my personal feelings on the Switch, obviously I haven't played it yet, are a bit mixed, but I can definitely see what they're trying to do. And it's an interesting idea. My concerns are mostly about the power of the machine and the performance and the third-party support. But of course, all that is going to have to remain to be seen. But it definitely is a strong thing to consider. You know, if Nintendo did just go to being a software developer, a third-party guy that's on the PC or Xbox One or PS4 or whatever, again, this won't happen, I don't think, at least, not in the foreseeable future. Maybe if the Switch crashes and burns, but, you know, again, doubtful. But let's just say if they did that, in terms of actual consoles, would there be any real innovation happening? Not really. I mean, yeah, the Scorpio, which is obviously upcoming, we don't know the full specs of it, that looks like it's going to be interesting, it looks like it's going to be powerful, it looks like it could very much be, as the thing that Microsoft is saying it's going to be, this true 4K gaming console, and that's all great, that's fantastic, but is it really bringing in innovation to the table? No, it's just more power, more shiny graphics, more frame rate. All that stuff is brilliant, but again, it's not anything new. It's not, hey, now we can control our games by wiggling our hands around, that kind of thing. You get what I'm saying? I'm kind of belabouring the point, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm explaining myself clearly here. However, let's move on to one last point from Reggie that I want to discuss. One of the concerns that I just expressed was, of course, about third-party support. It was undoubtedly one of the things that caused the death of the Wii U. However, he said, quote, "If you're worried about third-party support on our systems, don't. We recognise that delivering a wide catalogue from the top third-party companies is essential to creating a competitive console in today's market. And with the Nintendo Switch, we are looking forward to broad third-party support from the top names in the business, including Activision, EA, Take-Two, Ubisoft, and more. Did you notice that Bethesda is joining Nintendo for the first time with the Switch? Nintendo Switch players will be seeing some of their favourite franchises like The Elder Scrolls, NBA 2K, Minecraft, and more. We just announced that there are 80 games in development for the Switch by our third-party partners." Now, that's all well and good, but I think I'm going to keep my concerns about third-party because, well, the Wii U had an impressive list of third-party support at the start of its launch as well. And of course, as we all know, they rapidly disappeared and evaporated into the ether, never to be seen again. And we just didn't really see any third-party support really from any heavy hitters in the industry. Of course, Ubisoft was one of the very few who actually did bring out a Wii U exclusive, and of course it did eventually come out on the PC, many years later granted, but still. And many big budget games and many third-party developers who had sworn their support ended up not bringing their games out for the console, or it was eventually cancelled after trying and they just couldn't get it working because of the specs of the machine and of course the gamepad and yada yada yada. So I'm not saying, you know, we should say, oh, write that off, ignore that because the Wii U had third-party support and it didn't happen. I'm just saying we should keep it in mind because we've seen this before where third parties like, yeah, Nintendo, I got your back, we're all good, we're cool, I'm going to put my game on your machine, it's going to be great, awesome. But then, of course, we have the concern of, okay, now I have to get my game working on this machine, which is, as far as we know, again, the specs haven't been confirmed, less powerful than the current gen systems, which are already having problems with performance and so on. So basically, the TLDR of all that is, the third-party support is, we'll have to wait and see. I hope that the third-party support it, and I hope we get at least some of the latest and greatest games on it. I think the power is definitely going to limit some games. You know, we're not going to get the next Crisis on there, just for example, the first game that's really pretty off the top of my head. But we might get, you know, that next really cool indie game, or a game that doesn't require as much power. Like something like Owlboy, just for example, would be perfect for the Switch. That would be actually pretty good. I'd play Owlboy on the go, sign me up. But the third-party support is definitely a concern because, you know, while having strong first-party games is great, you know, Nintendo probably have one of the stronger collection of IPs out there, you can't keep a console afloat with just that. The Wii U showed us that. So, you know, I think I'm going to be rigid and say that they should keep making consoles just for the innovation reason, but if we have another Wii U, they might want to change track just a little bit, as I said. They only change that track when they need to, and I think if we have another Wii U-esque failure, then we might just see that change in gear from Nintendo, or we might not. Anyway, with all that said, the full video is linked below. Do go check it out, very well put together, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.